Klobuchar.
Welcome back. This week marks 25 years since the new Carissa ran aground in Coos Bay. It was known as the ship that would not die and provided some of the most memorable moments in Oregon history. KEZI 9 News reporter Aaron Ariano details the wild attempts to salvage the legendary cargo ship.
In 1999, the new Carissa, a freighter stationed in the Philippines, was on its way to pick up a massive supply of wood chips in Coos Bay, like these ships are doing here. But on February 4th of that year, due to captain error during a powerful storm, the ship ran aground into the shorelines of Coos Bay. No one was hurt and the crew was safely removed. But it was all hands on deck to prevent the hundreds of thousands of gallons of fuel and oil on board from leaking into the ocean.
I mean, this is an environmental disaster if we sit back and just allow this to flow into the water.
The U.S. Coast Guard and contracted ship salvagers joined forces to salvage the ship without causing more of a disaster. But failed tugging attempts pushed the new Carissa further onshore by 600 feet, making it impossible to fully salvage the massive vessel. Days after running aground, oil began leaking into the ocean. The decision was made to burn the fuel to stop the leaking.
You can see some flames coming out of the new Carissa 200 feet high.
All indications are that the detonation was successful. We've got exactly the right color smoke that we need out of there.
This slowed down the leakage, but it split the ship in half.
She flooded very, very quickly, indicating a large hole. When that happened, we had lost the ship.
After tugging the bow and failing to sink it with explosives, U.S. Navy warships were called in, firing their big guns at the hull. But the bow prevailed. Finally, a U.S. Navy submarine was used, firing a torpedo at the bow. I'm at Coos Head Lookout, which was once a great vantage point to see the new Carissa stuck. That bow sunk to the bottom of the ocean while the stern remained on the shoreline for years. A court battle between the state of Oregon and the company that owned the freighter ended with the state being awarded millions to pay for the stern's dismantling. In 2008, a salvage company was hired to dismantle and dispose the stern 9 years after the new Carissa struck shore. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, over 70,000 gallons of oil spilled into the water. And a report from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife says thousands of local seabirds were killed. Here at the Coos History Museum, they have a shipwreck exhibit with some information and even some artifacts from the new Carissa, proving the historical impact that it had on this coastal city. Oh, and this giant piece of metal you see right here next to me, that is a propeller from the ship that just would not die. Reporting from Coos Bay, Aaron Ariano, KEZI 9 News.